Hello everybody, I'm back with another Fix It video, and on the bench we have a Sony portable boombox. It's a model, looking down at the box, a CMT X5CDB, and customer says that the disc CD isn't playing, and he gave it to me and I put it on the bench and I put a disc in and it says no disc. I can press eject and nothing's happening. We have a mechanical problem, obviously. So I'm going to get it apart, so let's have a little look. And essentially there's no screws in the back, as you can see here, no screws at all. They are in the bottom and they appear to be along the front, which means that the front cabinet comes away from the back by the look of it. I've never done one of these before, so this will be a bit of an interesting thing for me as well. Alright, so I've undone the screws along that front edge. I'm just going to see if it will just sort of lean out. I may have to undo these as well, I'm not sure, but he said he gave it to somebody else to look at and they gave it back to him and said they couldn't fix it. Now it could be that they just couldn't get it apart, but though there is marks that shows that somebody has tried to lever this front bezel off, and there was a bit of a click. Presumably there's clips. I dare say I may need to consult the service manual if there is one. Get another spudger in there and see if two together do anything. No? Okay, I'm going to take these extra screws out as well, just in case. Although the front, the top at the front, all the screws seem to be the same size. It may just be that, of course, if I turn it face down, everything just sort of falls out. But this has started to come away already, so let's just gently tease it. It seems to have released bits and pieces. Plastic. Right. Looking down the slot in here, I can't see any clips which are holding it. In fact, actually, there's a metal, appears to be a metal chassis. Ah. Are there any extra screws under these? Why would they wouldn't put extra screws under there, would they? You never know. Just fold this rubber foot back. No, there's no extra screw under there, so yeah, I think basically it's a case of see if it will shake. Oh, hang on, there's two little, just realised there's two little rubber, yes, didn't see those before. There's two little clips, two little holes on here, and in there are some screws. And they're quite long ones, they're significantly different to the others. Right, so hopefully now it should start to come away from the case. Yeah, that bit's definitely coming away. It's like a plastic surround here. Got to be careful because we've got a display there, although it's at the back, towards the back of that. There it is. Yeah, so that's now off. So yeah, so obviously the front panel is held on by these 5 screws and the clips, and presumably those 2 big screws at the back hold the whole of the mechanism in. We've got a ribbon cable here, which you can see is just slightly skew with. Is that half in and half out? Possibly making a bad connection. It's gone in a bit straighter there. Okay, so let's apply some more power again. Power it on. I did remember it when I tried it earlier. The red light comes on here. You can just about make it out. You press the power button, it takes a few seconds. Alright, it says please wait, please wait. Obviously the mini processor, microcomputer, whatever is booting up. Right, there's a bit of a right, okay. So the CD mechanism is all one piece. I think really what we're going to have to do is to take this out of the whole chassis. Right. And work on it separately. So we've got 2. We go to the overhead camera, you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 floating screws. So presumably the whole mechanism floats on rubber in the usual way that CD players do. If I remember, in some of the earlier CD players, the mounting for the CD mechanism had consisted of rubber rings, springs, levers. Just going to unplug this ribbon from there. All kinds of things which were made to try and prevent it jogging, and this was in the days before you had oversampling, which and massive memories which would allow it to cope with skips and bumps. Right, so I'm lifting that up and there's something catching underneath, which I think is a ribbon cable of some kind. There's one here. Oh, it's not a ribbon cable, it's a set of wires. What we got underneath at the back, can't see it easily. Yeah, it's definitely a ribbon cable there. You may just be able to see that ribbon cable through the window, but something is quite taut somewhere on here. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's a bit of tape it's got stuck on there. So we've got a cable coming out there which goes onto the board down here, ribbon cable there. So I think if I just release this bit of tape here, should be able to take that black cable out there. I'm just going to go under that cable with that ribbon taped with that, so I can release it, and hopefully I should be able to then get that plug out of there. But probably better with a pair of tweezers. Yeah. My guess is whoever the customer took this to probably got so frustrated not getting the front off that he gave it back without getting any further, because there's no evidence that this cable has been removed before. And just lever that plug out. So I guess he just basically just didn't go very far with it. Oh, I see, that ribbon cable was held down by this tape. It's stuck on there. Let's just go back to the wide camera and you'll be able to see what I'm doing. You see the ribbon cables are taped in, so if I can get a screwdriver in there just to lever up the tape. And we've got on the ribbon cable, we've got a ferrite sleeve. Let's pull this off gently. Get it better with pliers now. Very gently, we don't want to yank it and pull ribbon cables out or break them. Ooh. Sticky tape. Now we might be able to just peel that off enough. Yep. On there, so we've just now got it into a position where we can hopefully, we've got our what appears to be a cover for this ribbon cable, which is very awkwardly. We've got a little cover. There's a little cover I can see just in here. There's a little clip and a clip, so I'm hoping that that will just push. I don't know, there's a little catch at the end there. Look. Lift it over the catch and pull that up. Yeah, there's the ribbon cable. But that plugs into the optics. So that makes life a little bit awkward, but we may be able to work on it like that without going too far. Yeah, because all the screws that are holding it all together are on this side, so we had to get it out this far. Let's just relieve that there for a minute. Let's put that, stick that on there for a minute, and then we should be able to release, because the cabinet comes apart there. Now I've got to get a separate little tray for these screws. They look the same as the others, but I'm going to keep them separate just in case. There's the other cabinet one there. Coming up. Oh, but one screw's missing there. Did he get that far? Did he take that screw out and lose it? Because that's definitely wasn't me taking that screw out. You can tell it's a different one because it's flat. It's a very flat screw, but so he's obviously taken one screw out and lost that one. If he's dropped it in there, it may be stuck to the back of one of these speakers. Worse still, it's... oh, hang on. What's that? Thought that was a thing. But I suspect if he did lose it in here, it may be stuck to the back of one of these speakers. Or jammed, worse still, jammed on somewhere else. So we may have to take all of this out anyway. So let's take this cover off. There's a cover there with a little hole in it. Okay, that's relieved that cover, and it's exposed only the fact that there's a disc in there that I put in there. There's two more screws there. Let's get those out as well. And lo and behold, that part comes out. You've got to be careful, there's a red wire on a switch there. Let's take that disc out of the way for now. There's like a lever there that says that's when the disc is in, and that presumably operates a switch. Well, no, it operates this mechanism presumably. Well, at least if those wires come off, I can see on there you can see it says red and black on there. Well, I think I can come to the conclusion that this was not designed for serviceability in any way, shape or form. So when the disc goes in, it goes in that way round, all the way down, pushes that in, that engages with that lever, and that catches. So that it's sprung loaded, so that's okay. So that's where it should sit before the clamp pushes it down onto the optics. So the motor which drives this is there. Is that direct drive? Ah, there's a belt, and it's the belt I suspected. As we do with all CD players, if the belt goes slack, and it feels quite slack actually. Alright, let's bring that over there. So we need to be able to see if we can take this mechanism out, and the only way it seems to be free is if that goes further back there, because we've got this plastic part here and there's a slot where it would say if this was further back, that would lift up there. So it's as like that position. So do we have to take, I think we do, to get that further back. It won't go any further forward because the levers that lift the optics up and down on this little ramp here are at their end. So I think you know what, for safety's sake, I'm going to unplug this ribbon cable, but just so I get it round. So whilst the pen is still working, I'm just going to put a little V on there, just so I know which way around that is. Then I can take that ribbon out without fear of damaging it. Has it got a lever? Is it a clamp, or is it just zero insertion force? I think it's just zero insertion force. Yeah, it is. Right. Okay, now we can get that bit out of the way. We can work a bit more carefully on the mechanism. Good job on videoing this, otherwise I wouldn't know how it all got took apart again. So if we I think I'm going to have to, will that lift up? No, it won't lift up, and it won't go back any further without, because it's hitting that. Yeah, so you can see, I'll tell you what I think I might do is undo this red and black cable, because that way it would just give me a little bit more freedom. So I'm going to disconnect the motor, and then that's again something else I haven't got to worry too much about. Right, so I can put that out of the way. Now I can do a bit more flexibility. I just want to have a quick look on the other side of this. So it doesn't seem to be anything. Now we'll take these screws out. I think they will actually. I think they're the screws that hold the CD player bit into there. The optical block onto the tray mechanism. Oh, it's just a cover. It's another cover. Let's put those screws into that tray. Now, will the optical block come out? Yes, if we remove those screws. Now, there might be an easier way of changing this belt than I'm discovering, but this just seems to be the easiest way that I don't disturb too much. So I've got, oh, that can come out. Let's just take this optical block out completely. I can just get a screwdriver in there and release that plug. So the optical block is out and safe. So we're just left with this mechanism bit now, which would be good. So now we've got a clip there which we can push to one side gently. And similarly to this one, will it come gently or will it not? Yes, it will, with a little bit of pressure on this bit going that way. Yeah. We get it past a certain position by the look of it, yeah. Similarly to this one, it's just a little catch. So that part's out. Let's just untangle that wire from that little catch. So that lever is out. Let's just take this wire out for a minute. Now we should now be able to get this back far enough. Sorry, this way far enough. Like so. We've got a spring on there. Let's get that spring off of there. That should then lift up. Ah, I think we found the true reason it's not the drive belt. This gear hub has broken off of here. Well, here we are after quite a bit of a struggle getting this mechanism to load and unload reasonably well. As you can hear, it's actually playing back. I'll turn that down in case we get a content match. But basically, having stripped it down, wasn't really looking at where things were coming from, and there's a sequence you have to put this back before you put this bit on and so on. So I'm not going to take it apart to show you what's wrong because it won't work, but it's working, but it's not right. Obviously the gearing I've put in there and it's working, but it's not right. If I eject, it will do one of two things. It'll either eject or it will sit there and go. Let's see. There, told you, which I can just about override by putting my finger in there and pushing the disc up. Let's try again. Get the disc out. So I've let it do a reset and it says no disc, and it will now take the disc in and load it, in theory. Well, it did before, but it's not right. As you can see, it's not right. So I'm not sure what I can do to make it work any better than what it is. It is not dropping the disc properly, evenly. If I tilt it sideways, it sometimes works, ejects better that way. But I think sometimes it works better if you actually turn it off, wait for it to discharge itself and switch it back on and then reset. It then works better. So switch it back on, power on. It will come up with just wait, just wait, just wait. Or please wait rather, sorry. Then it will do a little shuffle. And then I can actually press eject, and it did, well, last time it did, it ejected properly. But in this instance it's not. So let's power it off and do another reset with no disk in it. And it is in the disk down position now, or the disk engaged position. It should be playback because this arm here, sorry, in the disk eject position. But I've been over it and over it. I can't see where I might have put something in, a lever in the wrong place or whatever. I've taken it apart and put it back together so many times, it's unbelievable. I'm wary now that some of these screws, the threads are not biting because it's metal on plastic. I've been careful, you know, every time putting it in, and I just got to the point where I can't fix this. It's a bit of a failure. I hate to admit failure, but what I have found is that this loading mechanism, CDM1 as it's called in the manual with a part number, is still available. I managed to find a Sony repair centre that has checked, and they've got one on order for me. So by the end of next week, fingers crossed, I should have a whole new loading mechanism. So what I've then got to do is just basically take the optical block out of this, put it into the new one, put it back together, and it should work every time. Fingers crossed, if that, providing what's been supplied is a brand new one. Now I've just reset it without a disc in. Let me just try putting a disc. Yeah, it's not going in. You see, it's not got to the point where you can get past that little thing. Yeah, I'm not going to keep going on and on. It's a failure at this point, so going to have to put a new loading mechanism into it, which is a shame. So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to just put that back on there for now and put this back into the case to one side. So hopefully when the mechanism comes, I can show you taking the optical block out, putting it into the new one and testing it. Should work. But it was working, as you heard. It was playing back, so I know the optical block is still good. So we should be okay. Fingers crossed. Right, see you after the next cut. Okay, so it's been quite a while since I sent off the order, but luckily it's arrived. We have the new loading mechanism. So I've just unwrapped it a little bit just to check that's what it was. Let's dig in, bit the old unboxing. That'll please some people, won't it? So let's get this in, but this has been very kindly supplied by one of the Sony dealerships that ordered this for me. And that was, let me just tell you who they were because they were very, very helpful. Where is the lid? Fourth Electronic Services Limited. There we go. So there it is, and it looks like it's a loading assembly, the right part number, I believe, made in Vietnam. There we go, all packed nicely in bubble wrap. Let's get rid of that and open it up and take it out. And it's double wrapped in double plastic bags. But there's the whole mechanism, and it's all complete. It's not one that doesn't look like it's ever been used before, so it's probably absolutely brand spanking new. And just looking in there, you can actually see, if you ever come across one of these, where the gearing is for that lever. You can just see it in there. So there's about one teeth right at the end. So we should now be able to take the optical block out of here and pop it into here, put the whole thing back in, and it should work. So choose my favourite, good old Gloria. And because the mechanism is that way around, it's label side to the front. So gently push, in she goes, loading, reading,
emergency.
Hey!
Dr. Beat. Emergency.
Just turn that down because we don't want a content match, but it certainly is playing that track. Let's just skip on to another track. I don't know what the length of time it is for a content match. Is it 10 seconds? I would guess it's got to be more than 10 seconds or something like that. If you know, please pop it in the comments below, just out of interest. But I shall now try the big one. Will it eject? It's saying eject, and it's ejected. Hey! Now that's good. Let's put in a YouTube music test disc if I can get my hands on it. Where is it? There we are. Because this one I can leave playing without worries of content matches. Assuming it plays, of course. Yeah, go straight into playback. Can't remember how many tracks I put on. Oh, 27. Alright, that's track 27. But I like track 19. That's my favourite track. Oh, not that one. There it is. So, there we are. Working lovely. All I've got to do now is put the back cover plate on and the front speaker grill. Where's the rest of the box? There it is. Oh, there's a remote. I need to test it with that as well. Okay, I've got two plates on there because one of those has got where the ribbon cable comes through. Let's just make sure this is still working. Yeah, remote's working. Turn the display to different modes. That's clever. It's a nice little. Let's go over there and show you over the top. So display, so I can do elapsed time, no time. Presumably that's clock, track, time in the track. Right, okay, so there we go. So I will stop there. I'll say thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one.